Welcome to the Refugee AmeriCorps Initiative Training on Position Benefits. By the end of this training, you will understand the benefits of the intensive community orientation AmeriCorps member position. In following along on your member onboarding checklist, by the end of this training, you'll be able to initial next to the Benefits, Educational Award, Stipend training topic. First, we're going to talk about your in-service benefits. As a Refugee AmeriCorps member, you will be paid a modest living stipend. Technically not considered income, the living stipend is an allowance to cover your basic living expenses. While AmeriCorps clearly states that you will not get rich during your year of service, the idea is that you are being paid in experience and that you are committing to a year of service for your country. While members are taking part in such a pursuit, the stipend is to prevent members from worrying about basic bills. The amount of the living stipend for all Refugee AmeriCorps members is $20,000. This amount is before the deduction of taxes and fringe benefits, which does vary by site. Members will receive their living allowance stipend from the local operating site, and it will be dispersed on its payroll schedule. The living stipend must be dispersed in equal installments throughout the year and is not based on the hours you work. To find out what your biweekly and/or monthly living stipend is, reference your member service agreement, and to find out how your living stipend will be given to you, also reference your member service agreement. A member who has been temporarily suspended from service receives no living stipend while suspended. A member terminated from service will cease receiving a living stipend. The amount of the living stipend often allows members to be eligible for various financial assistance programs. Members should always mention that they are an AmeriCorps member and ask if there are any available discounts or financial assistance options. Members could receive discounts on anything from cellular service to gym memberships. AmeriCorps members receive a monthly living stipend and not an income. This is stated in the National Community Service Act of 1990. It explicitly states that any benefit earned by AmeriCorps members shall not be considered income for the purposes of determining eligibility for and the amount of income transfer and in-kind aid furnished under any federal or federally assisted program based on need, other than as provided in the Social Security Act. Therefore, members may qualify for federal assistance programs such as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps. Qualification will depend on each individual member's personal circumstances and the income threshold from each member state. Qualification for federal benefits is not a guaranteed benefit of AmeriCorps service. If a member is interested in applying for federal assistance, contact the Refugee AmeriCorps Program Specialist to discuss further and receive necessary documents for eligibility. Next, let's talk about your leave benefits. First, holidays. Refugee AmeriCorps members follow the holiday policy as outlined by your local operating site. Members serving at affiliate sites will have a different holiday schedule than members serving at CWS locally managed operating sites. All sites get between 9 to 13 holidays, so if members maintain the recommended 35 to 40-hour work week, you can still benefit from your operating site's holiday policy, as well as the generous leave policy outlined below, or outlined soon, excuse me. If a member is short on hours, the Refugee AmeriCorps Program Specialist can request members to serve on holidays. Leave benefits. The Refugee AmeriCorps Initiative provides members with 10 personal and 10 sick days during their term of service, regardless of the local operating site's leave policy. Members can use their 10 sick days immediately, however, members cannot use personal days until the 30th day of service. Members must follow their local operating site's policy for requesting leave, and leave requests should be shared with the Refugee AmeriCorps Program Specialist when service logs are submitted. It's important to note here that as a Refugee AmeriCorps member, you are ultimately responsible for ensuring you're on track to complete your 1,700 hours within the given 365-day period. At any time, the Refugee AmeriCorps Program Specialist can ask you to not take leave and or tell you you have no more leave days left if you are not on track to complete your 1,700 hours. It is important that you maintain and track the hours that you have served, the hours that you have left to serve, and whether or not you can take leave time when and if you need it. The next benefit we're going to discuss is called loan forbearance. Refugee AmeriCorps members may be eligible to temporarily postpone the repayment of qualified student loans through an action called loan forbearance. While a member's loan is in forbearance during the term of service, interest continues to accrue. However, if you successfully complete the term of service, the National Service Trust, the entity that disperses the Siegel AmeriCorps Educational Award, will pay all or a portion of the interest that accrued on your qualified student loan during the service period. To request that your loan go into forbearance, you can do so through the My AmeriCorps portal. However, the National Service Trust will not pay the interest accrued on the loans until you successfully complete a term of service. If you leave the program for any reason, either non-compelling personal circumstances or compelling personal circumstances, the National Service Trust will not pay any interest accrued on qualified student loans. After you finish your term of service, you are responsible for repaying your loan according to the terms of your loan. It's important to note that loan forbearance is usually available for federal student loans, but for any private student loans, it's harder to put those loans in forbearance. If you are wondering if your specific loan holder or loan provider will forbear your loans during service, it's important to give them a call directly. And then the last in-service benefit that we're going to talk about today is mileage reimbursement. As a Refugee AmeriCorps member, any mileage that you put on your personal vehicle for work-related purposes outside of the commute to and from the office will be reimbursed. This means that any community meetings that you have or any driving that you do for your specific job duties should and will be reimbursed by the local operating site. The mileage reimbursement rate should be the same as any other employee at your local operating site. If it is not, please reach out to the Refugee AmeriCorps Program Specialist. End of term benefits. After successfully completing a term of AmeriCorps service, members are eligible to receive a Siegel AmeriCorps Educational Award. Members can use the Educational Award to repay qualified student loans and to pay certain educational expenses costs at eligible institutions of higher education and training programs. Members may use the Educational Award to repay qualified student loans or to pay for current educational expenses at eligible schools or for both purposes. Members can access the entire award or part of it until the total amount has been used or the award expires. Members must use the award within 7 years of completing the term of service. The amount of the Educational Award for members serving within the Refugee AmeriCorps program is $5,730. As mentioned previously, the award can be used for qualified student loans or for future schooling. You can only receive a maximum of 2 Siegel AmeriCorps Educational Awards in your lifetime. The Educational Award is really a great benefit to members, and it consists members in a variety of ways. As we near the end of your service, we will offer a training that goes more into depth on how you should use your Siegel AmeriCorps Educational Award and address some general questions you may have. In the meantime, if you have further questions, you can reach out to the Refugee AmeriCorps Program Specialist. And of course, the last benefit of serving as a Refugee AmeriCorps member and just as an AmeriCorps member in general is that you will join the ranks of 5 million others who have joined the call to serve. Members will have the ability to join AmeriCorps alums, a growing a growing alumni network of national service participants from all CNCS-run programs, including VISTA, NCCC, Senior Corps, AmeriCorps, etc. There are local alumni chapters that do all sorts of events and community engagement activities, in addition to providing discounts to members who have formerly served, as well as providing a support network This concludes our training today on your position benefits. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Refugee AmeriCorps Program Specialist. Don't forget to complete the accompanying survey to document your attendance in this training. Thank you so much.